I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch.
Buy merch indeed, and y'all shall eat them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
You know what this is. This is
what
for
it
our
is.
patrons. Thank you for all that you do.
Yes, sir.
We are here to come through for you guys.
Coming through in the clutch.
We've got 4 songs on our stream tonight, our Alliance stream. Vinny's putting on some lights. Okay, let me pull up our first song. So we have the Epic Underground as our first alliance. Alliances are a group of people that work together, as you saw in the commercial, to pick songs for us to react to on a regular schedule throughout the month. We listen to songs from our patrons. So if you're interested in joining those teams or those crews, jump on Patreon and you can reach out to yours truly. And on the occasion, Vinny hops in there and we'll message you as well. And you will get one of us, not a computer, Not an AI, nothing, none of that. You're going to get one of us that's going to respond to you and show you how to get to the Discord, where you're going to get introduced to all kinds of things. Right up first.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, good morning. So we have the Epic Underground, whose leader is Archero. The name of this band is Seth, and Vinny is going to read the title here. And I'll read the translation.
Et que vive le diable.
Translation.
Something about the devil?
And long live the devil.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
that's the thumbnail. The thumbnail's got the homie right in the back of us. Ooh. Okay, so he says, as
Who's the
you
homie?
know,
Is the homie the devil?
Yeah, the devil.
Okay, shout out to the devil.
The devil.
That boy's working overtime, apparently. You watching Twitter? Good night. Folks are wilding out, boy.
As you know, we occasionally pick a member at random to prepare a full playlist for the Alliance to vote on and choose a song for a reaction. We call this E-Picks. Misery Biz actually won the drawing. Look at that, Misery Biz. Misery Biz actually won the drawing. Shout out to Misery Biz. But wanted to give his picks to an old member of our Alliance.
Here we are.
Slade. This is how we roll over here. So this is the winner of Slade's E-Pick. Seth is a black metal band from France. This song comes from their newest album released in July of 2024.
Is it black metal? Good. As long as
no, it's Epic Underground, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's black metal.
They just said it was a black metal band.
Oh, okay, I missed that. I was thinking about the sweetness of him sharing his
winnings.
Yeah.
His winnings with the people.
Remember at the beginning of the channel, all of a sudden there was like a bunch of people were...
That was that non-point kid. He wanted non-point. All right, guys, here we go. Song numero uno. Seth is the name of the band. Long live the devil is the translation. Good night. Let's do it. Hey, timestamp.
Oh, yeah.
34:50. Tremolo picking.
Changer, et il y en a
because we are all cursed. Yes, he's speaking French.
Wow.
Because they're a French black metal band. Hunter?
Even the French can lack talent. I mean...
Lack talent. How dare you say this about the French?
No.
How dare you say that about the French?
Well, black metal is not really my forte. But this one had some, underlying beauty to it, huh? Especially at the end, you could really...
Well, I mean, they always... Yeah, if you listen out for it, if you listen out for the tremolo, you'll hear the underlying beauty. A lot of the, for example, my favorite black, Magua, they're like masses of the tremolo.
I thought tremolo was a...
Oh, it's just, that, when you're trilling guitar. All right, what do you got?
Okay. Even the way that he wrote. Okay, so what is the price of a heart so many times torn, very poor, wounded soul, faced with the mocking demon? Its dying value soon without interest. Can it now be exchanged and end the pain? So it sounds like this person is in a lot of sort of turmoil, but it almost seemed like that they made a pact with the devil, and that they're in that pact there was a sort of exchange where they believed they were going to get freedom. But it doesn't sound like that they're a very free person. It says, "Oh, sign of your blood, and long live the devil. Renounce all your oaths. You are free now, see? And long live the devil. God, forever absent, there, best confident at your side."
Yeah, but it says,
devil.
It says right there, renounce all your oaths. So I don't know if it's saying, pledge allegiance to Satan and renounce your oath to God.
That's what I thought it was.
It's interesting because I was watching this priest on I think it's Michael Knowles' show. The guy's been making his rounds. He was on Sean Ryan, and he was talking about what if you make a deal with the devil? And the priest said, well, the devil has no jurisdiction over your soul, even if you say you're giving your life to him. And then he told this story about this woman, and she had told her friend she would do anything to be famous and rich. And then that night she had a dream about this very handsome man who had this contract. And he said, sign it here in blood or whatever, and then you'll be rich and famous. So anyway, she did it. Apparently she became very rich and famous. But this was during the 80s, and she ended up with HIV.
Oh my gosh.
And so she was dying in the hospital. She had the priest do the little, she basically renounced the devil. The priest said, you don't really have to, you're dying, so... just recommit yourself to God, you'll be okay. So the lady recommitted herself to God, and then it turned out all of her AIDS left her. So this is what the priest said. I don't know. He didn't name anybody. He didn't say anybody. But, I thought that was an interesting story. Very, very hard to, I'm always skeptical about that stuff. I believe that God can do it, but you're more with that stuff than I am, so... But
well,
yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy. I was like, holy moly. Go ahead, what were you saying?
I do believe more that I do believe more of that stuff. But I've seen some things that one time we were in the we were hanging out at this park, and we were just kind of talking to the people and stuff, and this is something that we just sort of did regularly, just kind of chill, like what we do here on the channel, just kind of hang out with people, and yeah, so we were doing this, and this woman came up to me, and she was like, hey, I had talked to her just a couple of times, and she knew that we were Christians and stuff, and so she asked me to pray for her tooth because it was rotting and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't. because there are some things that I have like a lot of faith about, but like me personally praying over you, I just really I don't know about that. But I was like, I mean, she asked me specifically, so it's not like I was going to be like, lady, go talk to somebody else. I was like, oh, okay. And so I just prayed, and in my heart I was like, you know, God, I don't really have a whole lot of faith about this, but you know what, if you want to heal her, go for it. And I didn't necessarily really think it was going to happen. And she was like, after she was like, oh my gosh, she's like, my mouth is not hurting. But I was thinking to myself, you know, it could be, you know, like in your mind, you like want it to be so, but like, I'll wait till I see her. And it will like a couple weeks to a couple months maybe went by till I saw her again. And she was like, oh my gosh, she's like, my tooth has been healed ever since you prayed for it. Which I don't believe it was because I prayed for it. I believe that God wanted to do something for her. But, you know, if I'm in the middle of something like that, it's always a little shocking to me as well. Although I will say that recently, like I saw this lady and she was like a bent all the way over to one side and she was just struggling down the road and like half of her butt. She looked young too. I felt so bad for her. And so I just prayed. I was like, Lord, you just, you know, miraculously heal her. And I was like, I believed if I looked back in my rearview mirror, like, I don't know, maybe she was going to stand up, but I couldn't see her when I looked in my rearview mirror. So I don't know what happened. So yeah, I think that I wouldn't say that that wouldn't happen, but I would like to see documentation also, like, because even just for the curiosity part of it. But,
yeah, I have a hard time believing all that stuff, even like if I were to see like medical, you know, like it's very. I mean, it's weird because you know my life began that way. Like
yeah, mine. I had early stuff too. So,
yeah. You know, so it's pretty weird.
Yeah.
The priest stepping back brandishes the cross, trembling for your soul belongs to the devil. You enjoy every moment, you impudent reveler. Oh yes, long live the devil. So that this is the person who is now possessed by some demon, some spirit, and now the priest is brandishing a cross, but he's scared, and it looks like the demon's got the upper hand. If you're afraid of those things, like they'll eat you alive. Mm-hmm. I remember one time we were dealing with a situation with a person who was probably pretty demonized, I'd say. It's the only case I've ever really where I'm like, yeah, that's a no doubter. Like, definitely that one. But I remember one time, like, we had pretty much, she was in good shape, and then I had to do an interview with somebody or something like that because we were, you know, dealing with some stuff with the law locally there, and you came up to me. You remember this?
I remember.
You're like, Vin, and
you were doing a show or something, and
yeah, you were like in this giant panic.
I was,
and I'm like, panicked. Oh no, something crazy happened upstairs, because you know crazy shit used to happen upstairs all the time, and they'd call me, and I had to go fix it. And so I'm like, what happened? And what did you say? She was like terrified.
Well, there's just stuff you can't say, but there was...
I think you can say anything you want, to be honest with you.
No, because you don't know what I was going to say. But I guess I could say, like, Vinny had a lot of different situations on his plate that he was dealing with, and a lot of very, very relevant fears based off of people's track records and patterns. Oh. And so, the demon-possessed person...
My ex was crazy.
Yeah, and... You had worries, you know, about everybody's...
I mean, she'd have a hard time. She'd threaten to kill me, that type of thing, you know. It's okay.
So
it's all good now.
He is at doing the show. She's back at home with the kids. And then this person that was very heavily influenced by demons came up to me and said, hey, like... And I think that the other relevant part about this was somebody that in the past I was very close friends with.
Right.
So they weren't just somebody from out of nowhere, and they came up and they were like basically saying that those voices that they hear all the time was saying that they like had a very like basically it seemed like it was a very specific attack that they were going to be like going after him and his family with. And so I was super worried. I was like, oh my gosh, Shorty's over there. She's already crazy. Like, I don't know.
She shows up to me like terrified.
I'm pretty sure that you were shooting a podcast when I burst in like that.
Yeah. I just remember talking about, I don't want that. I want paper towel, you weirdo.
I don't have any.
Oh yeah, we're out. Apparently.
How is that fucking possible?
I don't even know. I believe.
I hate this family. All right, go ahead, continue.
Do you want a washcloth?
No, I'm all right. Go ahead. Wait a second. Where did you get this from?
The clean laundry pile?
Okay, no problem. All right, thank you.
I would take a Red Bull or a tea if you don't mind.
Or a coffee. All right, go ahead.
She sounds thrilled.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
okay, so you worried about Shorty. You're like, oh, they're coming.
That was the thing.
She's like, they're coming for you. They're gonna whatever. Go ahead.
He was like, calm down, Sori. Sorry, it was weird because like I had never gotten that version. Is that why did you ask for tissues?
Yeah, I don't like tissues.
Okay.
Tissues are gross.
So I was worried because I was like, what's
She's
gonna
terrified.
happen?
I was like, what the hell is she doing? Like, what are you doing? So, but go ahead.
So he was like, you looked at me like, really? Like, are you really being undone by this? And as soon as I saw that look in his face and his eyes, I was like, oh, he's not worried at all. And then I started realizing, like, man, maybe I'm just kind of...
Man, I wish a nigga would, boy.
That's basically what you said.
Like, we're Christians. What are you doing being afraid of the devil for? What the hell?
Wow, yeah. But I was like, yeah, but like at that point in time, she wanted to be influenced by the devil. I mean, she would say it straight out. I dance with the devil. Like, she, you know what I mean? Like, publicly, like, she was fine with it. So
I had mechanisms in place to make sure, you know what I'm saying? Like, that she wasn't successful in trying to kill me. And it worked. Because, you know, obviously I'm still here. So, I mean, you know, we had to... You gotta be... You know, you just... you know, it's not like it sounds. It really isn't. But, you know, she's doing great right now. You know what I'm saying?
She's doing amazing.
It would have been... I mean, I agree with you. It wouldn't have been good if she did something to me. But, you know, nothing happened to me. But, yeah, like... She was terrified. She was like, ah! I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I'm gonna leave this place. It's like, I gotta leave this church, man. Nobody like people like we're going backwards. Like people hang around me at first. They're like, ooh, oh, this is great, and then they just like revert backwards into. I don't know what the effect is or whatever, but because when I first met her, like she was like Xena Warrior Princess. She was like, oh, for real, you know, like she'd go after anybody. She'd do anything. A couple years later, she said they're trembling at the devil. I'm like, man, if you don't stop, we continue. Go ahead.
No, that was specific, though, because... I didn't think that you were going to... You know what I'm saying? But that would affect you. I mean, that would be the best way to get you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
But anyway, I think, like, one of the deceptive... Obviously, the devil, like... He comes with some truth, but then, like they say, it's a skin of the truth stuffed with a lie. And that's sort of like, it's kind of like, you know, like your like anger or rage like makes people feel more powerful, but at the end of it, like it controls you, and you no longer have self-control over different situations. You overreact, you get wound right up, like you end up with, you know, like, you know, people that live with a lot of like anger and rage long term, like it has effects on your health and stuff. So like I think that's sort of one of the ways that the devil sort of like tricks people, is that there's an action that Jesus will tell you to stay away from it or do these other things, but instead people are like, oh, this is going to make them more free. But in the end, you end up becoming the type of person that, like, I was thinking about that neighbor. I was like, how do you get to be, you know, 75 years old? Like, I think little kids, even when they're bad, are so friggin' cute. And, like, I think, like, when I become, like, an 80-year-old woman, if I could see, like, little kids playing outside, I would just love that. I can't imagine, like, a little kid's ball comes into my yard and screaming at those kids to get the ball out of my yard, get out of my... Like, I can't imagine being that type of person. And so I'm like, what decisions did that man make to get himself to that point at the end of his life? And so I think that's the thing. Like, if you follow Jesus's principles, like it leads you to the most freedom that you can have. Where if you ignore his principles and you head the other direction and you try to seek freedom another way, it's like it's like when you're, I don't know if I was in a situation one time where I was swimming in this this water, and they had these fishing lines that were across. Apparently they were illegal, but people put them there anyway, and so they were these lines that were running across the water. And this was when I was in a very legalistic place, so I wasn't even in a bathing suit. I was in like capri shorts that were like cargo ones, and a shirt, so it was already like heavier for me. And then these lines started twisting around my legs, and when I started to kick to get away, they twisted up more around me. And so as soon as I felt them get tighter, I was like, okay, hold on. And like I stopped using my legs, and I just like slowly treaded away with my arms, and I was able to just like kind of slip my legs out of the lines. But I think that sort of like I think I can't remember where I was going to go with that. The whole I think I guess maybe I was going to go like, you know, when we're in that place where you're like, you're angry and you're whatever, like those types of things, like it ends up like tightening more around you, where Christ is the way of freedom. Like that's the only way out. So I think that, you know, like this person saying like, it almost sounds like that the devil is promising some sort of freedom to them. But in the end, it says, if fear invades you before eternity, you are not lonely. So is it saying that fear takes the place of loneliness?
No, he's saying that everybody feels that way. He's basically saying, don't worry if you start to feel, you know, a sense of foreboding after you sign yourself to the devil. That's all right. We all feel like that.
But that's what I'm saying. So you've got
like,
freedom,
okay.
But now you're so lonely, you're full of fear. You have a pact with the night that, you know, hey, we've all done it, and the reason that we're all in this situation is because we're all cursed. Like, is that the end of freedom? Is to find yourself cursed? So I don't know. It just seems like
that's the whole I would rather rule in hell than serve in heaven thing. Like I'd rather be cursed than you know, bend the knee to God. And it, you know, like. A lot of people are like that. Like in the next, you know, 8 to 15 years, I don't think anybody's going to claim to be an atheist. I think they're gonna align themselves with undeniable beings that I think people are coming up to a real sort of awakening and a transition, and I don't think it's always good. And I think people are going to align themselves with other beings and things of that nature because they're going to be able to scientifically have categories for all these things now. And they're not going to be prepared for what they're actually aligning themselves with. So, like, again, like, I don't understand why this is not, like, world-stopping news. But you've got high people in the government saying that they have craft from other worlds that have been gifted to us by these things. Like, they literally call it that. They'll say, they'll drop this stuff here, and then, you know, we'll stumble upon it, yada, yada. Like, you literally have professors at Princeton and Yale saying this shit in broad daylight.
Yeah.
And I understand the economy is so crazy. Everything is so crazy. Like, if you live our kind of lifestyle, you're privileged to be able to be interested in that stuff. But, you know, Marx just continues to be true, man. The material conditions on the ground are going to determine what people look at. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there's a flying saucer. It doesn't matter any of that. You know, if you can't pay your bills, nobody cares. But, yeah, I think that, like, now we're at the foothills of people having categories for telepathic communication, and now we've got terms like interdimensional beings or NHI, which would be non-human intelligence. So we have categories for this in the modern world right now. And you know, obviously, if you say demon, they're gonna say aha. But if you say interdimensional intelligent beings who communicate telepathically, some of which are malevolent, some of which are benevolent. People, that is more consumable as a modern person. So you can still believe in that stuff without, cashing in all your intellect, because now you're couching it in Western modern scientific language. So now it's okay. But yeah, I that's what I predict is around the corner, man. Is the aligning of yourself with these beings over and against God. I think it's going to categorize what we're calling God as just one of billions of beings and life forces in the universe, and it just so happens that, you know what I'm saying? I could, especially like arrogant Western people, I could definitely see them saying, yeah, okay, that makes sense, but I'm going with these guys, right? Like, so that's what it looks like to me.
So I think at the end of it, don't make a pact with the devil, because this doesn't look happy. Although some of it was really, really beautiful. Some of that underlying stuff, like,
I wonder though, like, if you're an atheist or like type 22, if you believe in malevolent interdimensional beings who can communicate telepathically. So anybody who believes that, type 22. Anybody who doesn't believe that or doesn't even think, no, I'm not gonna ask, do you think it's possible? I'm gonna say more likely than not likely that there are interdimensional beings who communicate telepathically who are malevolent. Okay, so that's...
Wait, say it again?
So it's a true or false statement. So 22 is true, 24 is false, okay? There are interdimensional beings who can communicate telepathically with malevolent intentions. Here you go. Waldo says...
And malevolent means evil, right?
Malevolent means evil. That they don't have your best interest at heart. So... I would like to poll people throughout the night, because I think it's an interesting question, because I don't know where people are at as far as, like, I don't know, maybe all the alien stuff you've just heard from me. You see what I'm saying? Maybe they're not really focusing that much on it.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I would
true.
really
I wonder how.
I'd like to see what people
I
think.
agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so Nathan believes in it. Psycho Actual does not believe. So Psycho Actual is 24. Thank you, Psycho, for saying that. Good. Let's keep it moving. I want to, like, talk about it, like, throughout the night. Waldo's not saying nothing. Waldo's like, I ain't saying nothing. I don't know. I think it's interesting. Like, I'd like to see, like, what people like really think. You know what I'm saying? So this is throughout the night. And if you have a weirdo story, we should just, like, do a whole day.
I was gonna say that's what we need to do is.
We should do a whole day where people just tell their weirdo stories about that shit.
That's a really good idea.
Luminous says, yes, there are entities that exist outside the material world. Some are good, some are benign, and some are evil. Some are very evil. Whoa.
Wait.
That's Luminous for saying that.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Stuff's going good for the homie.
Yeah.
Real good for the homie. Okay, good. So we're going to continue to talk about that. Okay? Do you believe...
Luminous, do you have stories like that you personally experienced?
Yeah. We should do that.
I think what we need to do is we'd have to, like, post it and, like, let people know, hey, this is coming up, like, maybe like kind of like Friday the 13th or something like that.
No, we should have done that. We should have done that for Halloween. Are those entities trying to... I kind of have to believe in it, considering, given the shit I've seen and felt. No, it's not for just atheists. It's everybody. Everybody. I'm going to put it, like, as a scrolling, like, thingamajiggy, and see what people say. But, yeah, I would like a night, like, dedicated to that, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For sure. Just to hear what people have to say.
Yeah.
But don't get all over-interested in it. All right. What did you give this song?
Oh, Michael Heiser. What is it? I always have like this. Do I rate it by how I feel about it, or do I rate it by what I think the song is worth? For me, the song is not like I don't like this really, that style, so it would be like a lower score. I think that they did a good job with it. I loved the beautiful stuff that they did put in the background. And toward the end, I'm gonna go with I'll give it a 7.
I'm going to give this one a solid 9.2. 9.2. As part of the indigenous community, we don't discuss outside our circle. Oh, okay. So I'll take that as a yes.
But emails could still be sent to me that I could read without saying names.
I seriously do want to do this show, though.
I do, too.
I mean, we could lock it up and put it on the Patrons if you want, but that would be really, really badass. I give it a 9.0. Would you give it?
7.
7. Okay, the day has just begun, dear listener. Keep putting your comments there. Do you believe that there are interdimensional entities who can communicate telepathically with malevolent intentions? Type 22 if you believe that. Type 24 if you think that that's just hooey. We will see you beautiful people on the other side of the break. The night has just begun. Vin out!
Sori out.
Coming back.
I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of Alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch.
Buy merch indeed, and Charles shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener. I did not say control your thoughts. I said communicate telepathically is what I said. Shout out to the big homie Myron. All right, here we go. What's the next song? What's the next song?
Number 2 is Sin and Glory.
Sin and Glory!
Inner Conflict. Shoulder Devil. Winner, Van Halen, Running with the Devil.
Shoulder.
This-
so
let's
the
see.
devil on your shoulder type thing.
Comment. A shoulder angel is a plot device used for dramatic and or humorous effect in fiction. Mainly in animation and comics book strips. The angel represents conscience and is often accompanied by a shoulder devil representing temptation. They are a useful convention for depicting the inner conflict of a character. In Sin and Glory's inner conflict theme, we played with this concept by each member submitting picks that had angel or devil in the song title. We voted the best angel and devil song for you to react, and depending on which song gets the better rating from you, determines do you follow your conscience or give in to temptation. For our shoulder, did I read that right? We voted the best angel and devil song for you to react, and depending on which song gets the better rating from you determines do you follow your conscience or give in to temptation? Yeah. For our shoulder devil, members voted Van Halen with their song Runnin' with the Devil from their self-titled debut album from 1978.
My God.
This was Dwayne's pick.
Oh, man.
Apparently the homie gives in his temptations.
Do 1.08 for the timestamp. Here we go. Here we go. Song numero dos. Van Halen, Running with the Devil. Let's do it. That bass line is hard, boy.
I live my life like there's no tomorrow, and all I've got I had to steal. Least I don't need to beg or borrow. Yes, I'm living at a pace that kills.
let me tell you one time.
Was that an effect, or did he do some sort of weird slide?
You know, I found the simple life was so simple. No, when I jumped out on that road, got no love you call real. Got nobody waiting at home. Running with the devil. Oh God, I'm running. Running with the devil. One more time. Running with the devil. Running with the devil. Running with the devil.
That's metal. Running with the devil. Okay, here we go. I could definitely see this song being banned in your household.
Are you serious? What? Whoops, what's this?
That part, it was like dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun, dun.
yeah.
That was like I remember when I was at the hospital and they finally let me have my guitar. And all the one of the guys, he wasn't a counselor, he was one of the doctors, but he was one of the people that, like, I don't know, you call them orderlies or something like that.
Okay.
So he'd sit with me in my room sometimes and he'd be like, you know, what's the use of a bassist? I'm like, nobody cares about bass anyway. That's how I learned that Metallica just completely shut down Jason's stuff and
Rude. They did it for emotional reasons. I get it.
In the Justice record. And I was like, damn, for real? He's like, yeah, you don't really need a bassist. But so, like, ever since then, I've always been like, what a worthless position in a band.
Wow.
Seriously, it wasn't until, well, Fieldy did something really different with his bass. So it didn't sound, you could always tell when he was playing, but it has a very, very, very distinct sound because they downtune it so much. I mean, it's a 5-string bass and they downtune it to A or something like that. It's ridiculous. So it sounds like just something completely different. Mm-hmm. I mean, really, it sounds like his strings are loose. Like, you don't really...
No, I know what a loose guitar strings are like.
Yeah, but aside from that, I was like, oh, man, the bassist is just, you know, people just include the bass because they want to have a 5-piece band or whatnot. Which makes no sense. It's like, look, if we could drop this person and split the money 4 ways instead of splitting the money 5 ways, I think we'd be okay. But, yeah, I think... So when I came out, I was like, oh, man, it wasn't until this channel.
Oh, really?
It wasn't until the channel where I was like, you know...
Was it that...
The bass is actually pretty good. It's pretty necessary. I forgot the band.
Was it that guy that sent you the necklace?
Him? Yeah. There was a dude from a pretty big band that guy was a ridiculous technician on bass. We almost had him for the band, but I'm still going. I still talk to him. He still sends me emails and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Him. Because we listened to that record for like a year and a half in the car.
We did.
Everywhere I went with that band. And then the dude from Diable Viscaris.
Yeah.
The way that Diable Viscaris uses their bass, I was like, oh my god, these guys are badass. Right, I
remember you saying that.
But yeah, other than that, prior to this channel, I had no use for bass whatsoever. I couldn't hear it when it was playing, all that. I mean, this one is a little bit like mega obvious that what we're dealing with, right? But the other one, not so much. Go ahead.
You're cute. Okay. Do you want to dive into these lyrics?
Yeah, go for it.
I live my life like there's no tomorrow. All I've got I had to steal. Oh, just to be clear, I didn't grow up in a cult. You wouldn't consider that a cult, would you? It was cultish. What?
No, I wouldn't say that your family was a cult. I would just say that they were super strict.
Yeah, but I ended up in a college that, I think you could describe that as
But
a
it
cult.
prepared you for living in a cult.
Yes.
I would say that.
Yes, I would agree with that. 100%. Okay. I live my life like there's no tomorrow. All I've got I had to steal. At least I don't need to beg or borrow. Yes, I'm living it at a pace that kills. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, let me just go more with it. Okay, running with the devil. Running with the devil, I'll tell you all about it. I found the simple life ain't so simple when I jumped out on that road. I got no love at all. No love you'd call real. Ain't got nobody waiting at home. Okay, so first, I would say for the first stanza, he's talking about everything that he had, he'd have to steal. But at least I don't have to beg or borrow.
Yeah.
It's easier to just steal.
Beg, borrow, or steal.
Yeah. I think, this one's kind of, making me pause a little bit because, I think sometimes, when moms will, steal diapers and stuff, and I can't believe, that they'll send the cops for that.
Yeah.
I've seen that a couple of times.
Yeah.
And, I was too late for the event, because had I been earlier, I would have tried to help. But, she was already in the back room, and people will be, saying, yeah, but people will react, instead of saying, oh my gosh, this poor woman had to steal diapers for her baby.
Right.
People are like, she's stealing diapers, almost like what type of mother would?
Right.
You're a mother.
What kind of degenerate do you have to be to steal diapers?
Yeah. It's well, I mean,
it's not like she was selling them on the black market. What the hell?
Yeah, and there are diapers and wipes and baby formula. Those things are really expensive. Cheap, so when he said at least I don't have to beg or borrow. I could see that. If life is really hard for you, and then you're either I have to, keep asking people for help, which we all. I mean, if you've ever talked to anybody who's in need of other people's help, I talked. I'm not gonna, put people out there, but some people that are in real desperate need of help, people won't come out and help, and I don't understand. Can't you see this person's situation? How much they have on their plate, how difficult it is on top of everything that they're dealing with, but I don't know. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, living your life like there's no tomorrow sounds very glamorous, but it's probably one of the best ways to destroy your life and everybody around you. There are all these phrases. I remember one time it was believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. I'm that's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life. What do you mean believe in yourself?
What's up, guy?
What do you mean believe in yourself? These are things that we say, that Western people say because they're bored. And, life, especially, I wish people could see what life was like prior to 9/11.
Well, what do you mean? What?
Life before 9/11 was radically different. People were not conscious of the world. We didn't care about anything else. We cared about Starbucks and our favorite TV show, and that was it. It's impossible to even explain to people younger than us what the country was like prior to 9/11. We're a lot more introspective now after 9/11. After a generation goes through a big war, and things like that, it kind of grows you up as a society, So, and that's one of the biggest things I see as a gap between, the age gap, is that you have one group of people who were socialized pre 9/11 into 9/11, mm-hmm. and then after 9/11, and then you have other people who were socialized only after 9/11. And that's a major difference. It mm-hmm. really, truly is. For example, the Democrat-Republican thing wasn't as salty and as vindictive prior to 9/11. You didn't see people in the streets wanting to murder each other and shit and kill each other over political grievances. Literally, we would just make fun of each other. We were so bored. No disrespect, but during the Clinton years especially, we had all this budget surplus shit happening. We were so bored, we were just making fun of each other and whatever. Nobody really cared. We didn't care about nothing. And then You know, 9/11 happened. I think it forced us to be global citizens. But like the whole like, I'm going to live like there's no tomorrow and blah, blah, blah. Like this carefree attitude. Like it sounds cool, man. And then like you grow up and you're like, oh, your carefree attitude resulted in this girl getting pregnant. And especially if you're in Van Halen, that's going to result in a hefty child support bill. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of situations where it's like if you live out what you want to do, there's going to be consequences. And like it's like I live my life like there's no tomorrow. All I've got I had to steal. At least I don't have to beg a brother. Yeah, I'm living at a pace that kills. So it's like he's not really in a situation where he needs diapers and that's why he's stealing at Walmart.
Right.
He's living his life like there's no tomorrow because he's a giant rock star and there's nothing really to go after anymore. And so that's why you live like there's no tomorrow, so that you can have some sort of... It's interesting, you know, Frodo's in the Shire the entire time. Nobody... That book is not a classic. Right? The reason that books become classics is that because there's an enemy to overcome, and there's drama and all the rest of it. And all human beings are wired because I genuinely believe we're living in a meta-narrative. And so if you end up as a character and things get too repetitive, you start feeling like an NPC, you're going to do some shit, and that's going to put you in the center of some grand story. So you're going to create a conflict, okay? And that conflict gets created. And even though you're the one that creates a conflict, and a lot of people don't like people who create conflicts, the guy or girl who creates a conflict is a star of that story, right? Whether they're a good star or a bad star, they're the star of that story if they're creating a conflict.
I didn't think of that.
Go ahead.
I just didn't think of that. Like that, like for some reason, like that, the concept of that just kind of made me feel stressed out a little bit. Like I think I find myself sometimes in the middle of conflicts and I'm like, oh my God, I'm here again. I don't want to be in the middle of conflicts. I'd rather just mush everything out and even it out. Like I don't want to be necessarily in the middle of conflicts. The idea that somebody
but you're always
you're
always the center of attention where you go though. Like when I showed up to the Bible study, you were the center of attention. So you don't need to do that. But the rest of us, that is a methodology. So he's living life.
Okay.
He's living life like there's no tomorrow because you know, he's bored with his life. And he says, all I've got I had to steal. But then the next two lines says, I'm living at a pace that kills. He says he's running with the devil. I'll tell you about it. I found the simple life ain't so simple. When I jumped out on that road, I got no love that you'd call real. Ain't got nobody waiting at home. So it's like, maybe nobody's waiting at home because you lived your life like there's no tomorrow and you just gave your girlfriend VD.
Oh my gosh.
That might be the reason. Yeah, back in the day, even if we had the internet, people were not going crazy on every little thing pre 9/11. Everything was not critical pre 9/11. You mocked people. Your friends mocked you. Your white friends would mock you if you were black. You're black. I got a dude right now. Me and him every day we're on some shit, but we could never publish it live because, you know, whatever.
Oh my gosh. Are you serious?
Yeah, it would never happen live. I was like, yo, no, make sure you don't post that, bro.
Oh my gosh.
And it's not me. It's not covering up with me. It's just him because he's white and, you know, people will crucify him for saying that shit. See what I mean?
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, why are you even telling... Well, I'll say that offline.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I love him. I love I like anytime I could find somebody like that and I can't anymore. Like, you know, I'm rolling him to the end. But, you know, he's ex-military, so he knows the deal. He knows the deal. Cross those lines.
And maybe perhaps listen. There's a God damn it, lady. You know I ain't lying to you. I'm only gonna tell you one time. Okay.
Yeah, that's a privilege. That. By the way, shout out to all the people in the chat in the various areas in the chat. Yeah, that's a privilege though. To be able to tell a woman you're only going to tell them one time. What man has ever said that successfully? I'm only going to tell you one time. Get out of here.
Anytime somebody says that, it's like, wait, well, what do you mean? Why? What do you mean you're only going to say it one time?
Who's ever said that to you? Me, right?
No, actually, I was going to say, no, somebody when they were lying to me. So I'm only going to say this once, you know, this was not what was happening, and then turns out, friggin', I found it all it was. Well, it was exactly what was happening.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have caught that one at all.
I know.
I completely missed that one.
Although you have said that before too, but it's the context is different, I think.
Well, I've never told you one thing. Ever.
Well,
I told you 1,000 things.
I was gonna say, and even because you'll say that, but you'll say it again.
Anyway.
Anyway.
I found the simple life. Once so simple. When I jumped out on that road. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing over and over again. These guys don't have any discipline when they're on the road. And then, look, it's one of the things that we learn going backstage. And, the other thing, too, is, like, we were at a show one time. And, like, this major band, especially for the region, it was like Godsmack or something like that. We left in the middle of it. We left in the middle of the Evanescence set, didn't we? We left in the middle of Evanescence, and then what's his face? Godsmack was coming on, but we had just had
Orion.
Was it Orion or Reza?
It was Orion.
We had just had Orion, and we're like, see, I don't like the babies when they're firstborn. I'm sorry, you guys are gonna see this at some point. I don't care when I'm gone. I'll be gone, so I won't have to look at your sad faces.
My God, babe.
But like, the first 3 or 4 months, like, I don't like the babies.
And I just can't get enough.
She
of
loves
them.
them because
Oh my
they can't
gosh.
go anywhere. I don't like them because they can't go anywhere. They can't do anything.
I just love holding them.
Yeah,
and
you
I
go
love
up to
how
the kid
much
like,
that
"What's
they
up,
wanna
little
be
nigga?
right
Hey, what's up, baby? We good, blah, blah, blah." Kids just looking at you like, "Yo, do you have any milk? No, get the fuck out of here." Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man. But like when they start getting animated and shit like that, and start smiling, reacting to you, then I'm like, I become obsessive. So we were at the show. And I'm like taking these pictures because like we're past the barricade and shit. And I'm like, man, now I want to go hang out with the baby, bro.
And
like,
I was like, I'd been like that, like.
It'd been 2 days. We had all these passes and shit. But like, I was like, yeah, because that was the summer we were going to a rock show like every other week, and people were hitting us up, come to the show. You heard it here first.
Oh my God, it's so hot in here.
Yeah, well, yeah. Like, they're trash. They're just, But, like, my point is, like, imagine being a band and being like, you have 15 more of these things to do before you can get back to your kid. Like, we were on stage for the entire set of a major band, and dude had his son on the phone, and then between songs he would go say what's up, blah blah blah, and then go back out. And I just remember being like, yeah, man, like, I don't know, bro, like, that I'd have a hard time. I'd have a hard time with that when you get to that stage where you want to hang out with them and shit. So I could just imagine, like, you're on the road, because, like, it's every metalhead's dream, right? Like, oh, you get to go to a show, you got passes, blah blah blah, and you would never think like that eventually becomes like drudgery. That eventually also becomes work. Like, you never would think that. But, I mean, it was kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially on that one, it was like, oh, my God. Like, I don't know. It was one of them festivals where, like, 16,843 bands or some shit like that. You know what I mean? And it was like, oh, do you want to go here? Do you want to go here? There were so many times where, like, nah, we're good. Like, if the band was just playing, we'd go out and find something to eat. And you know what I mean? And so it's like, you can't imagine that as a musician because you're trying so hard to get to this place. But then once you get to that place, you start to realize, like, damn, like, this is not really. And, like, the hotel thing and sleeping on a bus all the time. And, oh, it's a hard life, man. It's really hard for them dudes, like. And it's especially now because, like, you're not getting no money off the record deal. You know what I mean? Like, you got YouTube and all this stuff. Like, you're not making money from the label. You got to go out there and play in front of people, bro. So it's tough.
Oh my God, I just like that whole concept again. I don't know. There's something weird about me because that doesn't even sound like. I can't even like the idea that you're standing in front of that many people and that many people like. Oh no, that's too much. I would do the music thing with you, but that wouldn't be something that aside from you I would choose to do. Like there's people that I talk to that are like they want that public recognition. They want you know, they'd love to have a crowd cheering their name.
Yeah.
I think everybody has different experiences, and so like I don't want to be like completely forgotten and just disappear into oblivion, but at the same time, like I like a little bit of, I don't like to be crowded. And like what the way that like when they come out, everybody like crowds around them and I don't know, that's a little much for me, but I don't know, maybe it feels different if you're in, I don't know, because even they look like they're like some of those Beatles shots, I was like, oh my gosh, or like the way that they were with Elvis, like,
yeah, we had,
oh my gosh,
it was weird. We had one band. What's up, Peter Silver? We had one band. Guy did a great job, and he said, "Hey, you want to go out for a coffee?" You remember that whole situation?
I do.
And like, dude was like, their band was on a major come up at the time, and you know,
it didn't happen though.
Me and him were texting like back and forth during the show. He's like, "Hey, how does this sound?" Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Nah, man, you're good. You're killing shit." And then backstage, we're out chilling. And he's like, "Yo, like, hey, you want to go for a coffee?" You know, like, yeah. But it wasn't like go for a coffee. It's like he wanted to talk about something. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Yeah, bro. The next time you come around, like, we'll definitely do it." And as of this point right now, he's quit the band. He's not in the band right now. Like, they're touring, he's not with them. So it's like, damn. Like, they were really on a come up, really unique, really great band. And like, you know, he's just finding like it's not what he, you know? And I thought that was crazy. It was crazy to me, you know? But it is what it is.
It was, Dwayne. It was the Backstreet Boys.
It was
wanted to get coffee
it was
with
the Backstreet Boys featuring John Lennon.
Shut it down.
Yeah. It was Backstreet Boys featuring John Lennon when, you know what I'm saying? He had to...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so that's basically the end of the song there, you know what I mean? Like, I think, maybe when the Bible says the greatest of these is love, maybe if we took that like super literally, you know what I mean? Because he's living a lifestyle that in the end leaves him without love. And I don't think that love necessarily has to be like romantic relationships. There's all types of different forms of love, friendships, and, you know, there's a lot of experiences and ways, children, all these different things. But I think that when we build a life around ourselves that is essentially loveless, like, and then you hit the end of your life, man.
Yeah, but I don't know, because with rock music, people genuinely, like, I genuinely love them dudes in Korn. I genuinely love them.
Yeah, but what we've seen from a lot of them is that people love them for what they give to them. That's why they don't want the bands to change. They want somebody to stay.
Well, everybody loves them. Everybody loves people for what they give to them. Why do you love God?
Yeah, but there's like a give and take in relationships.
Yeah, they give the music, the fans give them money and adoration.
Yeah.
Like, there is a certain kind of love there, but I just don't think that I think for the most of us, having a home and having a home base and having a family is the optimal situation for most of us. There are those 2%ers like Paul who can, you know, but I think for most of us, being able to have a home and have a consistent woman who's like by your side is very important to men. And, you know, all this manosphere stuff, all this tough guy stuff, none of them are saying we don't need women. Mm. They're just saying we want women to be this way, which I mean,
it's also, it goes the other way too. Like, you know, today when I was going to go run my errand, I was sad that you weren't with me. But you knew, and you came.
Yeah. So
and there's a lot of times where I'm like thinking, I'm glad I have somebody to go home to. I think that's hard for people if they don't, you know.
Well, yeah, like I was in a subculture where it was, you know, pretty high divorce rate. Mm-hmm. But dudes, like, they'd always want to go home and whatever. They would complain on the...
The grass was always greener on the other side.
They would complain on the way there. Mm-hmm. And then, like, once you hit 50%, because that's the mark, you hit 50% of your whatever, that's when dudes start thinking about going home and their wives, and that's when they want to make calls and whatever. My philosophy was, I'm not talking to nobody. So for years, I didn't talk to anybody when I was on a trip. You know what I mean? And my guy was like that too, like the dude that was like handling me.
I wonder how you would have been if we were together.
He was the exact same way. There's no way I could have done that job being married to you.
Yeah, I know,
it's
because
impossible.
of how I am. But let's just pretend that that's not part of it. I wonder, let's say if I was completely okay with it. If I was like one of those women that was like, yeah, go, give me my time.
I've never met a woman who's okay with it. They all end up divorcing. Like, there's two guys that still have their, first marriage. But go ahead.
I was
so
just
let's say
because-
you were the unicorn and
like I handled it like basically like,
You
like
handled
they
it
did.
well, okay.
Like, coming from your standpoint,
So you're asking, would I have
because you
still
said
wanted
you
to be
never
home?
made those phone calls. No, you said you didn't make those phone calls, and I'm wondering if it would have been different if you and I were together, if you would have called, or if, I would have wanted you to call, but
I wouldn't have called you.
you would have never called.
I'd be less likely to call you than to call her.
Why?
Because I'd be too much in my head. I'd be too emotional, and I'd be way, way too emotional talking to you. Because I would just, like, for example, like the two, because I did call you twice, right? And you're like, why does your phone, whatever, that whole situation. But like, yeah, I'd get off with you. I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What does damn mean? Damn means
I'd miss you. I'm like, damn,
Oh.
And, I'm out with my boys and I'm thinking about you. That shit's not, it's not good.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's true. Archero, I think that's a valid question. Would you still love me if I was a worm?
Yes, I would still love you if you were a worm. I'd keep you in a little
jar.
A little jar. Well,
Make
not
sure,
a jar.
Make sure
I'd
I
give
stay
you a big-
moistened with my sand.
Yeah. All right, what did you give it?
Oh, this is pretty good. I would give this one an 8.9.
I'm gonna give this one a solid 9. It's not a band that I listen to. They were gone before we even showed up. But like, yeah, they're okay. I know it sounds like it was a crazy like song on the record on the radio. That sounds like a radio MTV joint.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. We shall return. Vin out.
Sori out.
Down.
I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull
You
that off.
can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, indeed, it shall lead them. We have a funny story for you, dear listener.
So, I like to buy whatever, well, that's really loud. Whatever I'm going to be getting, like for household items, you know, we moved. I'm trying to get it on Facebook Marketplace so I can get a good price for it. And so there's this brand new stick vacuum cleaner, so it doesn't take up a lot of space. I'm trying to get the person down on the price. And so I said, yes, I understand, but I was wondering what's the absolute best price that you could do. I know you wouldn't do burp, which is the price that I offered. And then the person doesn't respond to me. So I wait like a week, and then it's still up on the marketplace. So I go back in, and I'm like, what's the lowest that you could go? And then I said, I'm going to try to sell some stuff because this would be perfect for us. And the person responds back with, you can work for it to get the amount of money. 2 to 3 days at McDonald's is worth nowadays $600. So I'm going to go get a job at McDonald's. I thought to myself, brother, I am just trying to negotiate here. Oh, people are funny. People are funny. All right. Up next from our patrons, shout out to our alliances, is Inner Conflict. Remember we were doing Sin and Glory's Inner Conflict. It's really freaking hot in here, bro.
Did the girls just turn on the thing?
Okay, well, I've been asking people.
Just go
I'm
go
dying.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Sin and Glory's Inner Conflict, Shoulder Angel. Winner, Scorpions, Send Me an Angel.
All right.
So this is the other side. Okay, let me read it. Comment. For our Shoulder Angel members, voted Scorpions with their song Send Me an Angel, which is from their 1990 album Crazy World. This was Mad Maestro's pick.
Hey, Mad Maestro in this bitch.
And I'm about to send you the lyrics, and you are about to tell me the timestamp.
141.20.
141.20. Got it.
All right, guys, here we go. Did you send me the lyrics?
I did.
You did send the lyrics. Send me an angel, Scorpions. Let's do this ish.
Wise men said, just walk this way to the dawn of the light. The wind will blow into your face as the years pass you by. Hear this voice from deep inside. It's the call of your heart. Close your eyes and you will find passage out of the dark. Here I am. Will you send me an angel? Here I am. In the land of the morning star.
What instrument is that, Archero?
Wise men said, just find your place in the eye of the storm. Seek the roses along the way. Just beware of the thorns. Here I am. Will you send me an angel? call of your heart. Close your eyes and you will find that we out of the dark. Here I am. Will you send me an angel? Here I am. In the land of the morning star. Here I am. Will you send me an angel? Here I am. In the land of the morning star. Here I am. Will you send me an angel? Here I am. In the land of the morning star. Here I am. Will you send me an angel?
Yo! Man, this band...
He's got some good vocals.
Apparently you're not supposed to call them the Scorpions. You're just supposed to call them Scorpions.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Let's
apparently.
scroll up. Yep, called Scorpions.
I really like that. I like 80s melody.
Yeah.
You know, like we got the 90s stuff. We got the grunge and, obviously Nirvana, great. But songs like this, like, it definitely sounds a bit dated. Definitely I could tell it sounded like the 80s, early 90s or whatever. This song is responsible for pregnancies. I can imagine. This is one of those things like in the movies, man. Like you New Jacks don't know this, but back in the day, like early 90s, whatever, there'd always be a movie, right? There was a guy and a girl, there's always a love interest, and there was always the scene, and the music it was this kind of music would be in the background, and then they start getting down and whatever. And like they wouldn't talk. It would be like this 2-minute sequence of these people like having this like ethereal moment of, whatever. Yes. So it sounds like that. I wonder what happened that made those scenes go away. Those scenes aren't there anymore.
Well, I think that they had to do them that way because there were certain regulations for how much you could show. Now it seems like they've gotten more aggressive with it.
Well, yeah, but like the whole where you take an interlude and you just focus on that and the music plays. Yeah. It's not like that no more. I'm like, what's going on? I mean, obviously, it was in every movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was funny because he had Siskel and Ebert, so every drama had one of those 2-minute scenes, and then every action movie had a car chase. So Siskel and Ebert would go, okay, here's the obligatory car chase because it's an action movie. They used to call it a love scene. Here's a love scene, and then boom, you'd have a song just like this on the joint. What?
Huh?
What are you smiling at?
It was just funny. Like, here's the obligatory. Like, it was like that. You just knew what was coming.
Dwayne goes, it's called pornography. You guys are horrible. No, they were really into each other. Like, they were like, like, you could just tell at the beginning, the guy's got the leather jacket, he's got the Tom Cruise glare and shit, and Shorty's got all the product in her hair and shit.
Yep, like the hair pushed out to the side.
Yeah, and then, but it was cool because it was like a gradual type thing. It wasn't, poor people today, man. You used to play out those situations. Like me, like sometimes they would combine the action movie with the love scene, right? And that was the only time I was like cool with the love scene, you know what I'm saying? Because he was about to go wreck shit. And usually, if it was an action movie, he had his little lady, he had his little moment, and you knew he was gonna get dirty after that. I hope you creeps got receipts. My peeps get dirty like cleats. Run up in your crib, wrap you in your polo sheets. 6 up in your wig piece. You be deceased. Mwah, may you rest in peace. With my sycamore style, more sicker than yours. 4-4, 54 draw. As my pilot steers my lair, just my dear, shit's official. Only the feds are fear. Here's a tissue. Stop your blood clot crying. The kid's the dog. Everybody's dying. No lying. So don't you be suspicious. I'm big, dangerous. You just a little vicious. As I leave my competition, respirator style. Climb the ladder to success, escalator style. Hold y'all breath. I told y'all. Death controls y'all. It don't fool y'all. I spit phrases that'll thrill ya. And nobody till somebody kills you.
That wasn't a threat. He was just singing a song. Put your guns down, white people.
That's funny. Gun! Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, what's the song about then?
It's about love.
Wise man said, just walk this way to the dawn of the light. Wind will blow into your face as the years pass you by. Ooh. Hear this voice from deep inside. It's the call of your heart. Close your eyes and you will find passage out of the dark. Here I am. Will you send me an angel in the land of the morning star?
There you go. The guy, he wants companionship. He wants companionship. That was the other thing about these kinds of songs. They're always like, I want a girlfriend. Give me a girlfriend. Give me some girl. I want a girl. It wasn't like now, like, where it's like, I don't know whatever happened to that, man. What happened to girlfriend music? The last band that I could say, like, had that girlfriend music was Deftones' White Pony. Deftones' White Pony is, like, my all-time girlfriend music record.
Deftones' My Pony?
White Pony.
Oh, White Pony.
Yeah, that's actually what started this channel, actually. A lot of people think it was Slipknot. It was actually Deftones' Digital Bath that started this channel. But that's a different story.
Yeah, I actually didn't, Ben, I didn't even pick up that it was a relationship song. I knew that it sounded relationship-y, but I didn't know that it was, because it started out talking about Wise Man, and then it was Send Me an Angel. So literally, I spiritualized it. That's exactly what happened here.
What?
I did.
Like
Send me
literally an angel?
I like literally, I wasn't thinking about what does the song say. I was just thinking about like at the end, the Send Me an Angel. If there be one in a minute, you know, that whole thing, that Job passage and stuff.
If they're an angel, a mediator, 1 in 1,000 to show a woman what's right for him and be gracious to him. Are you kidding me? There's nothing like that on there. He's just talking about
I know, when Send Me an Angel.
An OG is like trying to explain to him life and all this stuff.
Yeah, no, I see it now. I see
You know,
it.
just find your place in the eye of the storm, seek the roses along the way, just beware of the thorns. Yeah. That's a beautiful thing. What's wrong with you? No? Okay.
Well, I just missed it. What's going to be said? I missed it. I missed that it was a relationship song.
That advice, like, just find your place, is some of the best advice that an OG can give to a young person. Or to say another way, you will find your people. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
Like your tribe, like, you know, because a lot of people feel lonely and shit. You know what I'm saying? And this thing right here says just find your place, you know, basically find your people. And that's one of the good things about the internet, I think, is that, you know, it's easier to find your people. I mean, there are dangers to group dynamics in the internet, misinformation, whatever. Tribalism, you know, the division in the country is largely because we have all these siloed networks of people that think exactly like us. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? But I do think it's important, especially if you're like a socially awkward person. Like, we skew pretty high in our community for autism, for example. Because
whether diagnosed, you know.
Yeah. Like, folks are definitely on the spectrum in our community. And a lot of that, you know, like, and I'm proud, I'm glad that we have, I don't know what it is about us, but I'm glad that people like that are drawn to us and participate in our community.
I always feel like they're drawn to the way you explain things.
It's Vin and Sori. I promise you, half these people wouldn't be sitting here listening to me bloviate. Were it not for you. But yeah, like you find a group of people that you know you can get in with, and then once you find that group of people, you're gonna find an angel at some point. You're gonna find your girl. I remember when I started being like, oh, a relationship would be a cool thing. I was watching Nickelodeon and they were like boyfriend girlfriend in this camp. I'm like, oh, that'd be a good thing. And I remember saying to myself, there's no way a girl would ever want to be like that with you. And it wasn't no fluky shit. It was just, you know, boyfriend girlfriend shit. You're holding hands in camp or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, that might be interesting. Then I was like, there's no way a girl would ever do that. Like, I literally thought that for years and years and years and years and years. And then I hit high school. And then I forgot about that person. Go ahead. I said, go ahead.
But I didn't have anything to say.
Oh, well.
Because I didn't realize it till like we got to this point that, yeah. I mean, for me, you know me. I always wanted to be in a relationship. I don't even remember not having that thought.
Like of wanting to be, but you believed that you would be in one.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I just
knew it was good. Like, I just was waiting for it to happen, but I just remember, like, as far back as my, well, not as far back. My first conscious memories is God. Like, that's what I remember. Mm-hmm. And then I was always thinking, "Ooh, I can't wait to have a husband." For me, it was always a husband. It wasn't a boyfriend because we didn't really, you know.
Yeah.
It was a husband. Because I actually, like, basically what I thought was, okay, you're going to find somebody and it's going to be a constant sleepover. And because I hated sleeping alone. It was always, like, lonely. So I'm like, okay, it's going to be a constant sleepover. And they always looked like they were having fun, like, whenever you would see it in, like movies or whatever. Because we didn't see those scenes, those 2-minute scenes that you're talking about. Those were, like, blocked from us. So I knew there was something interesting that happened over there. But that there was going to be, you know, basically just, I think really you know what, now that I'm like saying it, I think I believed that marriage would end loneliness. I think that's what I thought. That was how that worked. Because you're always with somebody. Yeah,
and that's what he's talking about, like, you know, the roses have the thorns and all the rest of it. Mm-hmm. You gotta take the bad with the good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's now that I'm looking back, like, I had situations where girls really liked me when I was younger. And at the time, like, I was really, really into my sports. And I was really into it. I was into my boys, like, you know, because it created the conflict. I didn't know this at the time, but I loved conflict. I loved competition. You know, I loved that whole thing. And, like, girls, now I look back, I'm like, wait a second, that girl like you, that girl like you. My brother would be like, yo, I'm like, you know, but a lot of it was, man, I'm focused on baseball, I'm focused on football, whatever. But a lot of it also was, I just never thought, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was never, like, a big popular kid, especially, like, because I kept moving around a lot. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I was never really...
I think that's what gave you such a great personality. You know, being around a lot of different circles of people and, you know, experiencing everything that way. Mm-hmm. I was listening to this thing, like, it's got, like, a lot of different topics, and then there was a section on love, which I didn't think was going to be a part of the discussion. It kind of seemed a little bit random to me, but regardless, it was interesting because they were just talking about, like, the truest nature of love, like what he's explaining here with the thorns, is the acceptance of thorns, and that when people refuse to acknowledge that with love comes difficulty, you cannot fully experience the totality of love because you keep wanting to imagine it differently. And so to accept the flaws in someone else and to accept the, like, not accept it, but, like, almost like you're on the lookout for it. You're like, oh, well, there it is, you know, oh, there it is. Mm-hmm. And the acceptance and the love through that is, like, the more of the truest forms of love, because it's not, well, it's not pretend, you know, like Disney is, everything on the front looks one way, but if you go behind those scenes, like it's the front is painted like a castle, but the back is a storage. You know what I mean? Like it's got where they're doing their work and stuff like that. Like everything that's front facing looks one way, but behind those walls is a whole nother thing. And so yeah, it was just an interesting sort of, like, if you have just the false stuff, like you just want love to be perfect and you're looking for it to, you know, well, you're going to miss things about it, because there is a certain, you know, if I only love my kids for when they're good, then I miss something about their personalities. Because there's something about their personalities that I only see when they're bad. You know?
That's true. That is very true. Oh my God, that's crazy. Yeah, I think it's a really, really good love song in the sense that it gives you the frillies. It would definitely accomplish what needed to happen in the late 80s, early 90s film for that 2.5 minutes, dear listener.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm gonna give it its props. I do think, like, that's the other thing is, like, you were allowed to be mega cheese when you were writing a love song. Now, the biggest love song of our generation is probably Love the Way You Lie. And, you know, that's not, you know what I'm saying? It's more realistic, although it is pretty extreme too. Like most relationships aren't that way either. As volatile and as horrible as Love the Way You Lie. And honestly, if my daughter was in that type of a situation, you know what I'm saying? Like, they would have to be in a different state. Like, if my daughter was in about that, and I could see one of them being about some crazy shit, they would have to do that shit in a different state, because somebody put my hand on my daughter there. Boom, boom! So, they'd have to do that shit somewhere else. But I do think it's kind of crazy. Like, our kids are not being socialized with these kinds of songs. Like, I listen to the songs that they listen to, and it's all, they're cheating on me, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, like, as a parent, like, the impulse to tell your kids, don't listen to this music. Like, I just set it up to where I had to approve all the songs. And I've approved 99.9999% of the songs. It has nothing to do with me trying to approve it. It just has to do with me wanting to know what they're listening to and why. That's it. So I sit there, oh, okay, so why is this song so important to you? Da, 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 da. You know, like, they don't have any cheesy songs like this where, I mean, honestly, it's crazy, but when I heard that song, all these scenes from the movies back in the day would pop in my head, and it didn't give me this, ooh, like, it was like an almost nostalgic, like, sad feeling, because relationships aren't like that all the time. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, damn, like, I wish there was an element of that in the modern world, like that willingness to be cheesy and to say, hey, you're my angel, and blah, blah, blah. And the song acknowledges, yeah, there's bad parts, there's the thorns, but, like, it's still sort of a dreamy, whimsical understanding of relationships, which I would rather be disillusioned than be cynical. So I would rather, like, have the illusion that kind of love is real or whatever, and then, like, have it taken from me at some level or whatever, rather than this, in my opinion, this generation, which just starts off with Love the Way You Lie, you know? Yeah. There is no cheesy, over-the-top love song anymore.
I do think that, like, when he said, find your place in the eye of the storm, seek the roses along the way, just beware of the thorns. He's not saying, like, seek the thorns so you can avoid them. He's saying seek the roses. So you're supposed to look for those positive things, those beautiful things, those, you know, those sorts of things in the relationship, and then just beware, because the thorns are going to be there. You know what I mean? Like, so you don't have to go with, like, covering your eyes. Like, there's going to be certain things and whatever, but but look for the positive. And I think that also speaks to, like, you know, like, positivity, as in, you don't, like, sometimes you can kind of, like, find yourself just being negative and cynical and dark. And I think it's cool to say, wait, stop and just, like, start counting your blessings. Like, that was, like, one of the things that I was reading, like, being an ungrateful person, it like really destroys you as a human being. And, you know, I've been, like, trying to work on that, because, like, I feel like I got, like, extremely ungrateful. Like, I don't know what your experiences of me have been, but I felt like I was just being, like I wasn't thanking God for anything anymore. Like, I used to thank him, like, hot water in the shower. I'd be like, oh my word, thank you, Lord, for this, you know. I do think that being in Florida has helped with that, because when I go out in the sun, like, I literally cannot help but, like, oh my God, thank you, Lord. I do it so much that even the boys, when they go outside, they're like, what? Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I'm like, what is this? This is so cute. So, you know, like, but having that gratefulness helps you to see things, and the more grateful you are, the more things that you see to be grateful for. So, anyway, that was, like, one of the things that they were saying, like, chases out, like, if you're a fearful person, like, becoming a grateful person, this supposedly has an effect on that. I'm not sure about that, but I thought it was an interesting thought. Anyway, That was Scorpion, Send Me an Angel. I'm giving that one a 9.2. What are you giving it, Vinny?
I'm going to give this one a 9.5. Yeah, I got to give it okay, here's what I'll say. It's great for this day and age, but it was generic for the time period. You know what I'm saying? It was generic and a little bit repetitive. I'm going to have to give it an 8.5. But I love the nostalgia factor.
Okay,
I love
all
the
right.
nostalgia factor. But I got to give it an 8.5. I'm sorry! All right, we got one more song for you beautiful people,
right
and
back.
we are not even going to go on commercial. We're going to go right into it. Timestamp is 2:05 straight.
2:05.
The next song is by a band named Sólstafir, I think, and the name of this song is Fjar. Fjar. Sólstafir and Fjar. Both names and things that I have butchered, I'm sure.
Oh, hold on, I gotta mute this.
What have you done? How many likes do we have on Mumble?
Not enough.
Man, these run billions, man.
I know, they're lazy.
All the wonderful prizes that they could have inherited.
Okay, so there's a video here that we're gonna be watching on the side. I'm actually plugging into that computer because
this is the joint.
yeah, I want to see this.
Okay.
The comment is, this time the lucky one got to do their playlist for our picks poll was Kai. This is Rock of Ages, whose leader is Misery Biz.
Misery Biz!
The winner of his playlist was Sólstafir, a post-metal, post-rock band from Iceland, formed in 1995. As with ROA's tradition, which is Rock of Ages, the playlist marker gets to tell why the winner band song is important to them. So here's Kai's comment. This band and song are one of those I stumbled on because of your channel and villagers. I think I saw the name of the band in some comment during a live stream or on the Discord server. The name got stuck in my head, so after a while I decided to check out what they were about. Fjar?
I thought it was Fjar.
Fjar was
yeah, go ahead.
the first search suggested. At first, I was blown away by the amazing cinematography of the official video, how they could make the barren landscapes of Iceland look so beautiful. Can't wait to see that. Actually, the video was supposed to be part of my first ever DJ stream. If I remember right, in the beginning of the DJ streams, there were few DJs who built their stream around a theme. You two tried to figure out the theme, musical, or something in the visuals, right? True or false memory? No, yeah, we did. We would figure out whether it was about the songs or visually or what. Yeah, we would try to figure out if there was a theme. Sometimes the DJs didn't even try to make a theme. It just like there was a theme there, and Vinny would usually pull it out.
Yeah.
False memory. True or false memory? Anyway, I was thinking to build such a stream where the connecting theme of videos was a coffin being pulled by a person into the wilderness, etc. The videos were Sólstafir, Fjar, Amorphous, Sacrifice, Black Sun Aeon, Solitude, and Gojira Vacuity. Well, I went with an all-finished DJ stream, so it never happened. Then I came across the live version, live on KEXP, what you're going to see and hear, which is the one I'm going to be in. And earlier, the atmosphere of the music started to take a hold on me. So maybe you can hear what I heard. Lyrics are dark and barren like the nature in Iceland. Kai. So these are the translated lyrics that I am about to send.
That you're about to send to me,
you.
and then it's time. The moment will arrive for us to hear this wonderful band, Applejack and Dwayne are going to cancel each other out with their mutual blockages.
Who does it first? It's like when I watch you on Fortnite.
What, Fortnite?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. We should get a W today. We should jump right. Well, does Zoe have work tomorrow?
Not sure.
Is this all part of the same? Those are the lyrics? Just that?
What happened?
Is that it?
Hold on, I don't know what I just did there because it's this. This is the furthest, and then it should end with la. No, that's not.
It doesn't end with that. All right, so
hold on, I'm about to do it again.
So get me. We got to do Lost right after this, okay?
Okay.
Boop. All right, guys, here we go.
What's happening? Okay, whenever I do that, it does that.
It's okay. I got it. Just do me a favor and send me the link to the page.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, guys, here we go. Sólstafir. Fjar, I think. It's not Fjara. It's Fjara. I don't know. Fjara. I'm going to say it's Fjara.
I mean, I just sent you the link 3 times.
Sólstafir. Here we go!
Oh yeah, timestamp. 209.
Síðasta föstudag kom út ný plata með rocksveitinni Sólstafir sem heitir Svartir Sandar. plötunni hefur verið mjög vel tekið af erlendum tónlistatímaritum og munu Sólstafir fylgja henni eftir með tónleikum víða lönd. Sólstafir ætlaði að ljúka kastljósinu í kvöld með laginu Fjara. Við þökkum samfylgdina. Verið sæl.
What you guys do to my freaking computer? Ooh.
So I've got the live one over here.
Sem ég fer aldrei aftur samur maður ljóta leiðin heillar nú á ný daginn sem ég lífið aftur flýr ef ég vinn í þetta eina sinn það samt dauði minn trú mín að allt fari vel þess lokið hjá mér dag sem nótt, hljóðið var svo rótt þrotið þolað brós áfram ríð, hjartar pumpar tárum dag sem nótt ég geng nú ein samur maður Refja við einhver tegna sig En það samt auði mig Trú mín að fari vel Þessu lokið hjá mér Þessu nótt þetta var á rót Brótið þóla að brós Áfram ríð hjartakum og tárum Takk sem nótt ég geng nú Lífið eina sinn verða samt auði minn Trú mér að fari vel Þessu lokið hjá mér Takk sem nótt hjarta var á rót Lótið þóla með brós Áfram ríð hjarta bumpar tárum Það sem nótt ég geng nú
Seems like you were really vibing with this song, Missy.
I had okay, so I was listening to the live on KEXP over here, and then I had that like for about half of the song, and then I saw you over here, and there was a female singing also. I was like, well, hold on, I want to hear with the female vocals mixed into it, because Homie didn't have her in this version. This is an older like he's older in the version I had over here, so I plugged in over there. And it just, I don't know what I don't know what the lyrics were singing about. It was sad kind of feeling.
Definitely had like a Kurt Cobain-ish type of, somebody said grunge. Definitely had that kind of feel for me. When the dude was singing, for sure.
Yeah, it looked like you guys were listening to an older live one, and I was listening to like a more recent live one. But yeah, I don't know what the lyrics were talking about. It had like a sadness to it that I like still feel inside. So I don't know what the song was about.
That's a breakup song, I'm assuming.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because it says, first of all, if I win this one time, it will be the end of me. My belief that nothing ends well, this is the end for me. Then he goes down and says, bones rotting in the earth like your secrets that you long kept from me, but blood weighs more than silence. That's a good line. Broken words, shards in your mouth, cut deeper than any wound. Broken vows will never be the same like the viper's bite.
Whoa.
So yeah, that's, it looked to me like a breakup song.
Wow. He said, this is the furthest I will go. Never the same again. The vile path calling me. The day I ran from life again. If I win this one time, it will still be the end of me. Because he's saying, like, he's running from this situation, right? This is the furthest I will go, never the same again. Because, like, maybe he keeps, like, you know, coming back to himself. And, like, in the relationship, maybe he was, like, trying to, like, be there. The vile path calling me the day I ran from life again. So it seems like, but because of what happened between the two of them, he was like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. If I win this one time, it will still be the end of me. What does winning look like?
I don't know. It looks like
running.
That looks like that's affected you a bit. Like what's going on with you in the song?
Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna like dive into all of that at this point, unfortunately. I didn't know what the song was about. It just like it sounded like sad, and I feel like inside sad. And then you know, like then when we break down the lyrics, I'm like, go figure, it's like a breakup song. Like you know. That's I've had this, like, I always have this, like, ongoing nightmare. It's been, remember we watched that movie where you were like, what was the name of that movie? Well, I don't know if we should say it because it's a spoiler. All right, in the movie, like, this guy had an Achilles heel, and you just knew, like, it was going to destroy him.
Yep.
And, like, the entire movie, you just felt that demise coming at the end. And, I don't know, like, I will have this dream that, like, I'll be, like, I basically destroyed everything in my own life. And there's, like, no coming back from any of it. But, like, because it's in the dream, like, I never lived that life. But I'm responsible for that life because it was my life. And so then all I'm doing is standing there just watching everything just fall apart. And, like, by fall apart, like, I'm losing you, like, everything. And it's like such a, because I'm like, I'm standing there and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I did this. Like, I can't believe this. But because I didn't actually live the life and I didn't actually live it out, like, not even in my dreams. So then it's like, you're just standing there dealing with, you know, all of the fallout. And so it's like sort of that, like, and I don't know if it comes from, like, in the back of my mind, like, my, you know, my first marriage didn't work, so there's like that, there's always that, maybe there's something with that where it's like that lingering, like, it's always going to end in disaster feeling. I don't know. But this song, it was just hard because it was like, he's saying, this is the furthest I'll go, never the same again, the vile path calling me the day I ran from life again. If I win this one time, it will still be the end of me. My belief that nothing ends well. This is the end for me. So, you know, and you hear, like, a lot of people kind of hit that point where they're like, they're just waiting for everything to just fall apart because they're like, it always does, so it's going to continue. And then he says, day and night, heart was uneased, broken will,
frozen smile.
Broken will, frozen smile.
That was
So
one
he
thing
left.
where, like, that's
Yeah.
one thing where I told myself, like, I'd rather die.
Then?
Let any relationship ever break my will, ever. Like, yeah, I remember exactly where I was. I'm like, I'd rather die. Like, because I saw this happen with my mom, you know. She was chasing my stepdad around for years, and people are who they are, man. I'm not mad at dude, you know, but, you know, it was definitely difficult for her. You learn these relationships, and, like, there's a lot of, like, oh, this is a hopeful thing, and then, you know, it comes crashing down again. It's tough, you know. It's a difficult thing to do. To try to, like, go on with your life when, you know, the person is just like, I don't know. It was tough. Bones rotting in the earth like your secrets that you kept from me.
That you long kept from me. That's, like, another thing too, like, that's, like, such a chilling thought that somebody will, like, you said it yesterday or something, like, that somebody will cheat on somebody else in a relationship and never tell the person, and the person will go to their grave not knowing that like, that was done. That's, like,
crazy.
It's crazy for both sides. It's crazy for the person that, like lives that life, because you have to live a double life, and, like, you could never, like, I talked, you know, recently a lot about the body, soul, spirit, like the human being comprised of those three elements, and like I think that the goal is, like, to center yourself completely with your body, soul, and spirit, like, around the truth. So you don't, you know, everything that you do is like, okay, you're trying to figure out, like, what it is that you're not trying to lie in any aspect of who you are, or to, like, run from yourself, like, you're facing, it's just a, it sounds so confusing. You could never be, like, I like, for me right now, like, the goal that I'm trying to get to is, like, to body, soul, spirit, get myself to a place where I feel like they're all equally important, and I'm focusing and making sure that I'm, like, growing as a person, not just in one area but in all three. Mm-hmm. Which is difficult. I'm finding it kind of difficult. Like, I find it difficult to like okay, get some exercise in, while at the same time, like, The spiritual side, I feel like I'm doing all right with. The soulish stuff is a little difficult, and the body stuff is a little difficult, like getting out and getting like exercising and stuff. But trying to like kind of regulate that to see like what does the healthiest version of myself look like, and and also like acceptance of certain things about myself. But like this, like for you couldn't do that if like if I cheated on you, then there's a whole part of my soul and my body that I'm never going to be, unless I tell you that I did that, then that's like a whole giant secret that you have to keep. And so because you have to keep that giant secret, like you cannot become like a wholer person. Like you're going to have to face what you did.
I don't understand the point of being in a relationship at that point. It's my thing. Like,
I feel like that.
If you like, I'm saying like you can't tell a person, but you've got a parallel thing going on. Like to me, it's just like, just be done with it, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand the what do we like to put somebody through all that? You know what I'm saying? Like for what?
Well, they'll say like, is it novelty? What's that? Basically like people like security. But novelty is like stuff that's like different, right? But
yeah.
Like, so like people want security, but they also want novelty, and security doesn't really bring novelty, and novelty doesn't bring security. And so you're kind of like dipping between the two of those things, and you've got maybe a secure relationship, but people want the novelty outside of that, and so they do that. But then that jeopardizes the security that they have here, and so then they keep a secret so they can have both. Yeah,
but I mean. You can't find security and novelty in one person. You have to have security in one person and novelty in the other person.
Well, I think that, that's the whole thing. Like, remember when I was talking before about love and how if you only love what is perfect about a person and you refuse to accept the parts of them that are not perfect, and I think that some of the novelty comes in the uniqueness of the things that bug you about the person. I can't speak for you. I'm kind of talking from my own.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, there are. And then things that kind of make make people stand out. Like okay, so like my parents, my father likes everything like clean. Like he cannot stand how my mother leaves her hair products and makeup.
Yeah.
And it takes up the whole countertop. And like that's you. You like have all your beard stuff. It's always on my side, and I always have to move your stuff before I can start.
My beard is glorious, bitch.
It's a glorious beard.
It's a very, very long time to get to this level.
And so I think to myself, my father, I don't think he mastered that. With my mother, it was always a constant frustration, and she never mastered clearing her stuff out of his way either. Like they're both still in that place all these years. And so like sometimes I look at all your beard stuff in my way, and I'm like, that's the uniqueness of you. Like you like take really good care of your beard. I like the way that you take care of your beard. It's a very nice beard, and you put a lot of time and work and stuff into your beard. And it's the I guess it's I look at it as the signs of life, because you're here. So
yeah,
beard stuff is all over the place.
Yeah, for as long as I'm here, you're gonna see all the little beard stuff around. Yeah, it's one of the things. Like, I know, but I'm like, she'll miss it when it's gone. But you're pretty like aware of that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Aware.
You're pretty aware of that stuff.
Too aware, because like sometimes I'm like, I feel like I can't react to things as I would want to, because I live in the shadow of, if the person wasn't there. Like I think back to when I was a kid and I was like 13 years old. I was so afraid my parents were going to die that I had like all of these things that I had to say and do to prevent that, which I think is actually, now that I've looked into it, is really just like OCD. Like, I guess that's how OCD people like, I haven't been diagnosed with it, but I probably have that. But like that's how they like mitigate some of their stress is to say, well, if I do X, Y, and Z thing and I do it in this order, then that thing won't happen. And then when you do those things and then, you know, they didn't die in a car accident, then you're like, oh, that's because I did those things. And so it solidifies you more in that behavior pattern. But now I thought about it the other day and I was like, wow, I'm 40 years old and they're both still there. So all of that worrying and stuff that I was doing when I was a kid and all those hoops I was jumping through didn't make any sense. But I can't remember where I was going with that.
No, it's just the brevity of life and the things you appreciate in relationships. Yeah, I remember, like... When I got the letters for divorce in the mail, I remember looking at it and being like, holy shit. Like, damn. Because I really never imagined my life without, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, yeah, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, if I didn't have the kids around, man, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was crazy to me. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, like, songs like that, it's like, yeah, man, nobody's going to be around forever. Like, so one of these days, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be over with for me. So you got to take the time that you have with the person and try to be as non-cynical about shit as you possibly can, you know? Like, and it's interesting, too, because, like, I used to go on trips. I used to think to myself, like, yo, I used to think about it a lot. Like, what would happen if, you know, this and this happened? I didn't come back home. Like, how would... And I just came to the conclusion that it would be very, very bad for the kids.
Oh, my God.
You know, I think Shorty would have been like, and then she would have recovered pretty quickly. But it would have been very, very bad for the kids. So I'd always be like, when I figured that out, I was like, damn. I was like, I gotta make it back home because it'd be bad for the kids if I didn't make it back home. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, no, it's a good song. You know, Kai also said it could double his death. You know, because oddly enough, I had a family member who was plotting her death the entire time and didn't tell us. So this is really what that song reminded me of, when he's talking about secrets and bones being buried in the earth and shit like that, like. She planned that entire thing and lied to me the entire time. And I didn't find out the truth until she sent me a letter. The day we found out she died, she had like timed this letter with the postal service. And I was just like, damn, you was lying, because she had just came up to visit us. I'm like, damn, sure, you was lying the entire time, bro.
Did you ask for something?
Nah.
Just keep it out there, whatever it is. We'll be out soon.
I was like, damn, like, you lied to me the entire time. Like, you were plotting your own death the entire time. And it was like, fuck, man, like, yeah, I don't know. Definitely, like, it's weird what affects you and what doesn't affect you. You know, I've seen a lot of terrible shit up close, but I don't know. But like sometimes, like, we talk about this, like, I'll be feeling bad for you because you caught me, you know, at this version of me with all these crazy situations. Like, I'd be feeling bad for you because you grew up into such a pedestrian, generic, and I mean generic in a positive sense, life, and then you start interfacing with me, and hell yeah, there's a lot of novelty, man. There's a lot of shit that, you know, a lot of novelty, and my life is just kind of like that. But at the same time, it's like, damn, like, when I think about your background, I think how you was living and all that, I'm like, man, Shorty would have been. That's why, like, you know, the life, like, they'd say the only marriages that work in the life is if you're in the life with somebody else, you know what I'm saying? Because the other person understands you and you guys, you know, whatever. And I think there's probably some truth to that because it's the uniqueness of the situation that, like, everybody's like, oh, you know, we can all relate to each other. It's like, no, you literally cannot. You can't. Yeah. Like, you literally can't. So, you know, but I was always oddly enough, never really a believer in that. I always thought that, like, if your relationships were deep enough, that what you do for work, because it's a job really, doesn't necessarily have to comport with the person that you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I looked at it. I wanted, I mean, honestly, I didn't want somebody. I thought I did, like when you first, like I thought I did, but I really wouldn't want somebody in the life. Like that would be crazy to me, especially having kids and shit. It's one thing if I was like 24 and had no children, you know what I'm saying? Like I'd be out of there. I'd be in, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, the song was interesting because it took me a lot of places,
Yeah.
Just the irony of, I got sent down there to work on, human analytics and tells and all this shit, and I had this person literally right in front of me, like, was plotting on doing terrible things to themselves the entire time, while I'm being, run through the ringer on analysis and human behavior and how to, spot patterns and pattern breakages and when they're doing it on purpose and when they're not doing it on purpose. So like, it was this giant intensive of like, and it's like, you're going to do this, you're going to get assigned, sink or swim, type thing. And so like, I was like really, really locked into my little agenda. And like the entire time, like she's right in front of me. And I was just like, oh no, man. Like, that, yeah, I've had a lot of about 14, 15 people, but like there's 3 of them, and 4 of them, they're all family members, and one of them is my brother, like blood brother. That I'm just like, man, I don't know, but yeah, it could be about death, it could be about anything, but yeah, it's a silent count for me.
Yeah, I could see why you'd silent count that one. Yeah, I thought it was interesting because the music itself communicated, I thought, the pain of the words. Because like I said, I didn't know what the lyrics were saying, and I wanted to watch just the people express their art. So when I started reading it after, I was like, oh. I loved the way he performed it too. I love the way that he performed it. Like artistic looking too.
Well, yeah, it just seemed very simple and genuine. Yeah. Like that's the thing for me is people write lyrics, and we've listened to we've broken down probably 500,000 words. You know what I'm saying? But like the way that you say it, the way that you sing it, like I could tell that he was really feeling that shit. So shout out to them.
Yeah. I'm gonna give this one a 9.
Oh, right, dear listener. Kai, I did not block you on Messenger, you weirdo.
Is he joking?
I think he's joking. I don't know. I haven't checked Messenger in a while.
It's 12:30.
Because those are usually like middle Americans in the thing, like because it's election season, people going crazy. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But shout out to Kyle though. Shout out to Kai. Much love to all our alliances. We will see you beautiful people really soon. Thank you for all the goodness, guys. Love your neighbor. Take care of each other, y'all.
We All the Media. Oh, wait, that's the other channel.
Yeah. Vid out.
Sorry, out.
Go.